Hey all you nerds, Gabe, aka Froopy Art here, and welcome back to our Gravity Falls inspired region. In the previous episode, you arrived in the Hoax region and got your starter. But before you can go explore, Professor Pines needs your help with something. Now, I know you two are excited to start your summer vacation here.
We're gonna catch all the weird, messed up Pokemon around Twin Falls. We'll be the best stinking research assistants you ever had, Grunkle Will.
I don't doubt it at all. In fact, here are a couple Pokedexes. I look forward to seeing you fill these bad boys up. But there's one big project that I need your help with. You see, I was working on a new experiment a few days ago, and it kind of exploded. Well, more accurately, it shot up through the roof, leaving a huge hole. Then it exploded in a massive energy blast, and the pieces got thrown across the whole region.
Whoa, explosion-y.
Yeah, pretty cool. Now, I've already got my other two research assistants out looking, but I can use all the help I can get. It looks like this. All right, it's supposed to be a big ring structure, but it broke up into different segments. There's a total of 10 of them out there somewhere, and each one will have a different symbol on it.
Grunkle Will, what does it do?
That doesn't matter, sweetie. What matters is that it is fancy and expensive, and we need to find the pieces before any of the yokels from town stumble across them. It's of the utmost importance that I get all the pieces back.
You can count on us.
I knew I could. Come back with anything you find right away. You'll probably want to catch some Pokemon as you go, so take some Pokeballs. And do either of you need a refresher on how to catch Pokemon? You appreciate that Professor Pines offered the help, but you and your sister are confident in your abilities and head out. The Hoax region is primarily an open world, but during these early moments, you find that fences, signs, and debris around the shack limit you to going south.
I know we're supposed to be looking around here, but you'll be fine if I run ahead, right? I can't wait to check out the town, make some new friends, have everyone just fall in love with how awesome I am. This summer is gonna be so much fun. Good luck finding Grunkle Will's nerd stuff.
Maple bounds ahead, and you are left to explore this early area alone. Again, this region is mostly an open world, but in this somewhat tutorial-ish area, you know we are going to run into the traditional early route Pokemon. So let's see what we have. Time for our Route 1 bug. We get to start out pretty simple with a wee little mantis. The line will go in a pretty wild direction when it evolves, but I'll just let you know that accentuating the giant mantis eyes was important to eventually get there. Yep, the eyes are important, and I made sure that the ability reflects that also. Other than that, it's just about getting those baby bug Pokemon proportions. Like, I feel like most Route 1 bugs, you could just kind of poke it and it would topple over. So this design's huge noggin does that pretty well. Now, before this design evolves into anything weird and cryptid-y, let's go ahead and meet Tintus, the lens Pokemon. Almost half of this insect's weight comes from its powerful eyes. It often stays completely still and observes its prey for hours on end, but will strike with lightning-fast speed when the opportunity presents itself. Though tiny, Tintus are effective hunters, and its ability is Tinted Lens, which doubles the damage done by not very effective moves, so that's great. And the hidden ability, also to do with eyes, is Compound Eyes. You see one just sitting atop a bush and silently watching its surroundings. It eyes another Pokemon that scurries past. Alrighty, it is time for our Route 1 normal type, or mammal, or rodent, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. We'll just say it's the normal type, since this is our first design based specifically on something from Gravity Falls. And you gotta love them gnomes. I mean, the gnome barfing up the rainbow from the first episode, I mean, that's just so iconic at this point, I just had to get a tiny bearded man in here somewhere. Now, the toughest thing was finding a design that read as a gnome without looking too human-like or too much like it was just wearing clothes. But simplifying the body detail and honestly just getting rid of the nose got us there. Let's meet the horribly weak little Nolo, the cone hat Pokemon. Though these minuscule normal types are extremely weak, they become a real threat when they attack in large numbers. Nolo hats are made from mushrooms that they painstakingly cultivate, leading to a brittle but apparently fashionable headpiece. And because those stats are just atrocious, it gets the ability Fluffy, and that actually reduces damage from contact moves but makes them super susceptible to fire type attacks. So a little bit of a trade-off, but it makes them slightly more viable. The little Nolo looks up at you with a mischievous grin before scurrying off into a bush. And when it does, something flutters out of the bush and lands on the ground in front of you. Okay, let's go ahead and tackle a potentially unbearably cute early route flying type. Now, even though this whole line looks fairly insect-like, it will not be a bug type. I mean, it will have access to plenty of bug type moves, but the whole line is a dark and flying dual type. Those two types are actually a bit more important to the line than being a bug. But to start off, it was important that I got a pose that gave some variation for the rest of the line, so this cute little laying down on the ground is very adorable, and really accentuating these massive antennae and the red dots on them. You know how many moths and butterflies and other animals have fake eyes to scare away predators? Well, that's what this little guy does. Let's meet Lilurk, the false eyes Pokemon. This fuzzy little flyer uses two massive antennae adorned with red spots to scare other Pokemon away. The red dots are often all that can be seen when this Pokemon is hiding in the shadows. Lilurk is covered with short, soft fur, but petting its wings may hinder its ability to fly for a short while. And this line is introducing a new ability, which I'm calling Terrorize. This is essentially a counterpart to Intimidate that lowers the opponent's special attack whenever it switches into battle. This tiny cutie quickly wiggles back into a shaded area, waving its antenna at you as menacingly as it is able. Now, along with these fairly common Pokemon, you do manage to spot one species that is considered quite rare, even in the Hoenn region. So let's make a little blob. Yep, just a gooey little goober. Now, this design is inspired by the Changeling. That's a bit of folklore from across Europe where a creature is left in a child's place after the child has been stolen away by fairies. So, what we have here is a shapeshifter. So not only does it get to transform like Ditto and actually evoke some of that Pokemon with its color palette, but I also pulled in some round shapes and little curly cues to bring in some baby imagery. All right, let's go ahead and meet Ittle, the Changeling Pokemon. This normal type's body is completely unstable, and it is able to transform its appearance at will. Ittle are sweet but often too desperate for attention, resorting to mimicking a trainer's Pokemon in hopes of being taken home without the trainer noticing. Wanting to impress, they also seem quite eager to evolve their shifting bodies. The stats are, basically a less good version of Ditto. The ability is gooey, though it does get a hidden ability of Imposter, just like Ditto. And there are your early route Pokemon. You see plenty of these little cuties around, but would you add any of them to your team? Let me know down in the comments below. You are having a blast meeting new Pokemon, but you also remember that you are here for a reason. Now, every so often, littered here and there, you're able to find tiny bits of metal and debris. Nothing as large as the device sections the professor needs, but there is still a lot to collect. After following a trail of glittering scraps, you find a heavy bolt that has embedded itself in the side of a tree. When you go to retrieve it, you find that the tree isn't what it seems. Twisting and pulling hard on the bolt causes a panel on this fake tree to creak open. Inside, you discover a dusty old journal with a metallic Pokeball emblazoned on the front. Cracking it open to the first page, a message pops out at you. It's already been 7 years since I started researching the bizarre Pokémon and occurrences of the Hoenn region. I know that I am being watched. Remember, in Twin Falls, there is no one you can trust. Flipping through the rest of the pages, most of them are filled with scientific charts and gibberish words and symbols. These are a perplexing problem that you will need to solve. In fact, this leads us into one of the most exciting things about this Pokemon series. There is a Froopy Art Discord server. All of the details for that are going to be down in the video description. And once you have joined the server, you'll have access to the puzzles found in the journal. Starting now, a new puzzle will be posted with every episode of the series. They will start out quite simple and get tougher as the series progresses. And just to make it even trickier, every once in a while, a puzzle will require you to enter a correct solution in order to continue seeing the new journal pages being added. It'll be a really fun, interactive element to the series, and I hope to see you in the Discord server for it. Again, all of the details are in the description below, so anyway, congratulations on finding the journal. You take it with you and head back up to the research shack. Its mysterious contents are rattling around in your brain, especially that part about trusting no one in Twin Falls. I mean, what could be going on in this region that made the author of the journal so paranoid? Perhaps the paranoia was justified? Instinctually, you tuck the journal into your bag, just in case. And you're all up inside your own head when you come face to face with the professor again.
Well, what did you find? Looks like a bunch of little scraps. None of this is what I actually need to complete my, very complicated scientific experiment thing. Are you sure you didn't find anything else out there?
You are as silent as ever, deciding to keep the journal a secret for now. As much as you hate to admit it, the professor is kind of a shady character. Maybe once you have deciphered some more of its pages, you'll feel better about sharing your findings. The professor lets you go on your way, and you excitedly dive into the journal pages. But we'll pick up from there in the next episode. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you are enjoying the series. Again, check the description for details about the Discord server, and have fun with the very first puzzle. Good luck, and it's only going to get tougher from here. Alright, I'll catch you in the next one. Later, nerds.